Hey guys, welcome back to today. We're going to go over our trades for today, and I discovered something on ThinkOrSwim where I can place my orders for more than 100 shares. I was able to figure it out. I'm going to show you guys towards the end of this video on what I did. So if you're trading ThinkOrSwim, please check this out. I think this will save you kind of like the stress, because instead of clicking 100 shares at a time, I figured out how to punch in like more than that. You know, I can punch in 200 shares, 1,000 shares, 500 shares at a time, but it kind of messed me up a little bit my third trade because I didn't pay attention. But I'm pretty excited to share that. So honestly, I've been trying to figure out how to do that, and I figured it out. But we'll start with our first trade of the day. When I got on this morning, I saw SI. First thing I noticed, Chinese stock. So I was like, okay, well, go figure. Chinese stock, yeah. But you know, this is like 5 minutes before 7 or 5 minutes before. And I didn't draw this line, but this is what I noticed, that it had broken this downtrend. And when I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's gonna break VWAP, right? First, second, 7 a.m. is coming, so I'm gonna wait till this, hits 7, and I'm gonna see if it's gonna flush or dump. You know, it did break trend already on the way up, and I'm noticing that this is a shorter float stock. Wasn't too sure why it was up on the day. But there was some news. Maybe we can see right here why. Something about tokenization with so crypto, Bitcoin, biotech. Okay, I guess it's bullish. Anyways, breaks the trend. I take my first trade. Let's see, it's looking first trade 665. So I don't wait here because hey, this could flush. This could pop up and easily flush. It did break, but I'm not taking any chances. What I was waiting for, as soon as this crossover happened right here on the 1 minute chart, I'm looking at both. This is my setup in the morning. I'm looking at left and right, 10 second, 1 minute. The 1 minute chart right here, I waited for this breakout right here. As soon as it crossed over, that's when I took my first trade. I got in and I got out for 704. So I was up already, let's see, $48, around there, 47 I think. Pretty sure that's what the math out to 35, around $40. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good starter position, right? So I get out at 704, and so let's look at the 10 second. I try to sell. I was kind of fidgeting my buttons, so I didn't sell at the top here. It kind of started flushing down. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell, and I waited for another pullback. My pullback for another entry. So I got in for 707. So as soon as it started coming back, I waited for this dip, went under 6, crawled back up to $7, took my trade at 704. I sold at 734 for another $30. Let's see, no, that's not wrong. That's wrong. 20 cents, 24 cents worth, not 40. 24 cents. Yeah, I got in at 707, got out 734, and that's about 24 cents. So that puts me at $65 on the day. So yeah, wow, that's really good. $41 first trade and 24 on the next. Pretty good. And I didn't trade anymore after this. I think over here is when it started getting choppy. When I'm looking at this 1 minute chart at this area, so I'm gonna show you. Oh shit. I guess I can't. Right here, I'm looking at this cross. Oh, I guess I can. This is what I'm looking at the 10 second. If that's starting to cross over, I will not take a trade. That's not my entry. That's my exit. So as soon as I saw that starting to kind of peak over here at the top, this is where I feel like the peak was at before it started curling down, and you know, it was starting to hit a lot of rejections. So a lot of top and tails, rejection, and then you know, it did end up flushing, as you can see, and it did go for another curl back up. So even after this breakout right here, it sold off, popped up, sold off again, and beat this high right here, 760, and went up to $8. Double topped again at 812, and then that was pretty much about it for the day. So there was still some room to trade this. This candle right here, unpredictable. I mean, we'll go here. You possibly could have taken a trade, but to me, this candle, when candles like this are this big, just out of nowhere, it's harder to predict them. You're not going to expect a huge candle. That's a Shrek candle. I think it was huge, kind of. This one's a bit easier to predict, I feel. I mean, it makes more sense. You're on a break of VWAP, and it just makes more sense that, okay, when above VWAP is going to be more buyer support, so you can expect maybe higher volume to suddenly spike up. But when it's already above VWAP, I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but to me, it's just easier when there's a better setup. Do you see how so look at the volume right here. The volume starts going small, 7,000, 9,000, 4,000, immediately 166,000. Like, how do you predict that candle? And even if you were to get in, what if you fill that at 798, flushes down, you're already down $30. So this is a bit harder to predict around this area. But I mean, if you're looking at the 1 minute right here, you see how it's crossing over. This possibly could have been another spot to take a trade right here. Maybe that could have been a good entry. Okay, that was the first trade. The next stock I was looking at with the Rhyme. Rhyme was already up on the day. I'm just gonna look at the 1 minute chart for this one. I didn't execute any trades, and it was already, I would say, let's see, was it Rhyme? All right, no, it was not Rhyme. I was looking at another stock. I think it was, let me see what it was. MBY, I was looking at MBY. That one didn't have any fuel left. I just left it alone. I looked at Rhyme, popped up, and 2 million. It was okay, good size, 2 million float. The earnings news catalyst, I think honestly those aren't really the best ones. Sometimes it can cause a huge spike up. You know, this volume surge, but it was pretty much a red candle. Flushed down. I was looking at it, went up again, top and tail or doji, but pretty hard rejection. And I noticed the volume was just not there, you know, and it just sold off. So good thing I avoided that. I think the ultimate would have been like balls to the walls and then, you know, been greatly disappointed. So I'm glad I avoided that. The third stock, the second stock I actually took a trade on, but this is the one I was looking at next, is THAR. So wow, $5. This thing was at like $1 when I was trading it. This thing made moves, pretty good moves. But you see, right here is already at $1.63. I wish that price action was towards the pre-market, because man, that would have been a really good fucking day. Let's see. With THAR, okay. This one's also a biotech stock. I've traded it in the past. Love biotech stocks. So they have some results for the drug, TH104, opioid stock, or biotech stock within opioids. So I think with this one, where I fucked up was, one, my share size was set to 200. I didn't change it to the previous stock. I was trading OP, but that was just to test out. It's a 10-cent stock. I was just testing out the button. So let's see. This will make sense right now. I'll show you guys right now what I'm talking about, so it makes a bit more sense. So we're gonna go here. Okay, you guys can look at my average fill sizes. Look at my profit for the day. That's my proof. So we're gonna go to trade, and I'm gonna type in. This is what it looks like. We're gonna type in OP. Okay, so this is what I traded. Yeah, no profit on the day. It was 10-cent stock. So I found out this is how you can configure your ThinkOrSwim to start trading in bigger bulks. I'm usually trading the bid and ask with 100 bulks, and I was like, okay, how do you get around this? How can you place some orders? Your hotkeys don't work during pre-market, which is bullshit. I figured out the key was TIF, time in force. You're gonna go here, no, not there, this wheel, and what you're gonna look for, the TIF right here, it's gonna be on the other side on the available items. If it's not available, make sure you add it. So I'm gonna remove it first. And so it's gonna be like this. You add the item, save. TAF will be right here. It says day. So when it says day, you have to change it to EXT. EXT will allow you to put in a bigger bulk size. That means this template will work. It will now work for you to place in bigger bulks. So I have this set to the bid and ask right here. Buy at the ask, sell bid, so that way it's working as if you're clicking directly from the level 2, because you're basically buying from the level 2, except instead of directly clicking each order 1, 2, I can now just do buy ask and 200 CC buy ask shift 2. If I do that, it's not going to work because hotkeys don't work during pre-market. That's why sometimes people use DOS Trader, but I found out you just hit buy ask, 200 shares will go in, immediately got filled. And I mean, it was a 10-cent stock, so, you know, with maybe lower float stocks start moving with high volume really quickly, it might take longer time to fill just because it's really volatile. But then you sell the bid, and boom, I got out 200 shares, and I was like, holy shit, I figured it out. Now, with smaller price stocks. If it's like $1, I don't have to press 10. I can just buy at the ask. But sometimes scalping, your trades is possibly a viable strategy. It can be. I mean, there's multiple ways to trade. You can either just hit, the order that you want, wait till you get 20 cents, 10 cents, and boom, $100, $200, or you can kind of scalp. But I feel like the scalping leaves a lot of room for kind of, I feel like missing out on, what would I say, profit. So I'm going to try my best to be comfortable trading 200 share sizes with stocks that I can afford to. If it's like a $10 stock, I'm not going to use 200 shares. If it's a $10 stock, I'm going to do 100 shares. Because 200 shares of a $10 stock is basically my whole position, almost. I still have a little bit more left over, but I figured it out. So now this will allow me to, instead of clicking, I'm not missing on my entries. Because every time I'm clicking, that's slippage. It's not always going to be the same price fill. So maybe we'll go here. So let's say, for example, if on SI, let's say if I was trading this back to back, which I didn't, you can see in the timestamp, but let's say I wanted to buy 200 at 665, right? But since I wasn't able to do that before, if I hit just 100, what if I had gone and filled 665 and 707? You see what I mean? Like I want both my fills to be executed at 665 if I want to take 200 share positions at a time. That's what's going to allow me to get more profit, because now I can just punch in one big order at this price level. And if I had done that, with this stock at, 665, I put 200 shares down, I would have been up $80. So it would have been up a bit more profit, but also that leaves a little bit more room for, losses as well. So I do have to be careful. So that's what I wanted to share. It's really easy. Just make sure you guys are on EXT for the time in force of the day. This is how I have my style set up. I'm looking at level 2, the price and sale, orders come through on the right hand side, and I have my template right here, clicking, and single orders, auto send, EXT. Remember, EXT, sell, bid, buy, ask, and you're set. So wow, I felt really happy. So hopefully I don't get too greedy. Hopefully I don't get full of myself, honestly. So I do have to be careful, because I do want to get comfortable taking bigger positions at a time, because that's how I'm going to be able to grow faster or grow at a better rate. Right now, I'm still going to stick with 100 shares, but if it's a smaller price stock, I would rather do a little bit bigger bulks at a time so I don't miss out as much profit. So THAR. So I was pretty excited on THAR because this was right after I found out I could do 200 shares. But I didn't change my order size. I wanted to take 100 shares at a time on this, but I left at 200 shares because I was trying that new button. I didn't click from level 2, but I clicked on the buy ask button. And as I was buying, I noticed I was filling at 200 shares. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't change it back. So I got in at, 168, 161, 161. It flushed for a bit. It was pretty much my max loss was this candle right here. That's what I set down to. And I was like, damn, it's right there. And immediately recovers. And I start selling around 172, 171, and 166. So my average on that wasn't the best. 163 was my average, and my average sell was 169 for 600 shares. And that put me up $37 profit on the day. So, yeah, I got to be careful, because if I don't notice that my share order isn't what I want it, then it might fuck me over, and it could put me at large losses. So I do have to be careful on the day or in the morning when I do that. I only traded this move right here, this big area. I got in, got out. I did leave a little bit more profit right here. I sold right here thinking, to me right here, this area, I thought we were going to flush down. I mean, let's see. Oh, shit. Take this off. I thought this area right here, we were going to flush. Look at this big candle. Starts going up. I'm like, okay, we're pushing higher. But I was seeing 20K sellers on the bid, on the ask. So I was like, oh, shit. There's a lot of people selling, keeping at this level at 173. And I was like, okay, I think we're going to go down. So you see this volume. I'm thinking that we're going to squeeze up a little bit higher. But nope. Instant rejection. Topping tail candle. Another bottoming candle, which is another topping tail. And I was like, okay, we're going to go downhill from here. And I'm looking at this MACD. I'm thinking we're going to cross down over, and it didn't cross, didn't diverge down. It recovered immediately and went up. So honestly, I don't know. This one was a bit tricky because there is a smaller price stock. There's going to be a lot of bigger orders flowing through, and the bid and ask are a bit tight. So there's not that much room because everyone's trying to get into this with large size because it's smaller price stock. But man, this made a big move in the afternoon, morning. Wow, if you traded this, good job. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how I traded. Just got to be careful. Got to watch my orders now, and things should be going up from here. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, let me know. I haven't had my coffee. I got to go work out. Don't worry, it's only 4 ounces. It's not a lot. It's going to last me for 5 hours. I go to sleep around 10 p.m. No, 11:30 Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, my sleep's not the best. I wake up at 3:50, 3:55 to kind of get, to be awake and just get things set up. And then I try to go back to sleep. Today was pretty chill. Alright, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys found that helpful with the ThinkOrSwim. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to go over my ThinkOrSwim layout and setup and how I have it set out to be. It's pretty much like how Ross had it his when he posted his video. I think it was like about last year. But I can go over my setup and what I find easier. Okay, take care. Have a good day. Peace.